G'day guys, Raid0AU here. Welcome to episode 5 of our playthrough of Empyrion. I've done a little bit of work off camera. So you'll see here that basically I've rounded off corners and I've added the second layer of the veranda type stuff. I was trying different windows as well, trying to decide what I want. These ones here, I've just put the one in at the moment. I think I'll stick with those. Really good. You can't see in from outside, but you can see out from inside, which is great. Rounded all this stuff off. Did a bit of work inside. Put some lights out here. I'm going to do some work out here in a second. I'll just head on inside. So go up to the second level. Now basically I've left all this like this, and this is the reason behind it. This is going to be filled with these growing pots. And at the moment all I've done is I've grabbed one aloe vera from outside and made some seedlings from it. And then I'll just continue to do that, and I'll make possibly one complete line here will be all aloe vera, and that's simply just so we can start making the large med kits. But if I go ahead and pick that, then you can see you can pick it and it will continue to that'll then regrow. And what you need to do the seedlings, I'll just quickly show you that before we get on to the main stuff, is in the food processor. If we go in here, you'll see I've made some nutrient solution. For that you need some rock dust, 4 rock dusts, purified water and spoiled food. So I've run out of rock dust at the moment. But we've got aloe vera here, and you'll see that it's got a perish time of 39 minutes. But if we then bring it in here, we're able to make an aloe vera sprout. And it does give us 2 for each one of those. And you just need 1 aloe vera, 1 purified water, and 1 of these nutrient solutions. So we'll just go ahead and make that. And the good thing is, once you've done this, these sprouts don't have a perish time on them. You'll notice there that it doesn't have a perish time on it. It takes roughly 35 minutes. To grow to maturity so you can pick it. And basically if we look at the large med kit, you need 3 of them for each med kit. So that's why I'm thinking I'll make that entire one side aloe vera. But we'll do that in a later episode. The other thing that I've done is I did a bit of crafting. Now you'll notice here that we've reached the point where we're starting to run out of resources. So we've got hardly any silicon, hardly any cobalt, running out of copper, and our promethium, which is probably the biggest concern. We're starting to run out of promethium pellets. If we run out of that, we've got no energy. So that's a priority. We need to find some of that. So today what we're going to be concentrating on, I've crafted everything I need here to make a hover vessel. So we're going to make a hover vessel, and we're going to start setting out and exploring the planet, find these resource nodes, have a look at some of the points of interest and things like that. First point of interest we'll probably look at will be the crashed spaceship. But first thing we need to do is we need to find some promethium. Ideally we find all of these, because we're going to need all of them. Iron obviously is not a problem at the moment. But cobalt is important. You need that for metal components, and you use metal components in just about everything. So silicon also for things like windows and electronics and things like that, and copper obviously for wiring and stuff like that. So I'll just drag all this stuff over. So to do your hover vessel, what you're going to need is you're going to need a hover vessel starter, similar to like what you do for the base. We're going to need a generator to power it. We're going to need an RCS. Needs that on to control turning and things like that. I've made 2 spotlight cubes only to try and make it easier at night if the sun goes down for us to be able to see, obviously. You're going to need 3 directional thrusters. You're going to need a fuel tank. I actually make 2 because I like to put one on each side of the vehicle just in case if I get attacked by a drone or something like that, it doesn't manage to take out the fuel tank. I've got a bit of a backup there. You're going to need a normal thruster, just simply for power, and you're going to need a cockpit of some sort. I've gone for cockpit 3 here, just simply because I prefer the look over the first cockpit. And then you're going to need some blocks, and that's basically all we need. To make the starter, hover vessel starter, what you do need to make is you need to make a hover engine, and you're going to need to make a core, and then you need some hull blocks. So, and all of those show up in here, so there's the hover engine there. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out. And we're going to start making it. So hopefully this should be a fairly quick build. I'm not going to go overboard with it. Reason being that hover vessels have a tendency of getting destroyed by drones. So we'll see how we go. So first thing we need to do is we need to just place down the starter. Just wait for that to settle down. There it is. And next thing is we'll put the cockpit on. Get some blocks out. So you'll see in the middle there where the core is, there's a bit of an arrow pointing the way. It's kind of saying this is the way that it should go. So what I'll do is I'll just place that on there. We'll fill these blocks out. And I want to extend the back out a bit here. Okay. Now, at the front here, these rotate those around. That there. Rotate that one around. That can go there. And grab our spotlights, and I'll get rid of the remove tool for the moment. Spotlights. Just need to rotate them around until they're facing forward. Put one there. One there. Need a directional thruster. Pointing forward. And then on the sides here, do a similar thing. All the way along the side there. Put one there, one there. And it's about here. I'm going to put the fuel tanks in on the sides. That one there. That one there, that one there. Fuel tank in there. And I'll just grab some of these and we'll just round off the corners here. That. Like that. And now that's where we need to start putting in generators and things like that. So start off with the generator. I actually want it to lie down on its side. The reason being that I'm going to actually want to cover this to protect it. And the same with the RCS. Put that there. Just put some blocks in here. Whoop. Use the remove and repair tool. That one, that's okay on that side. This can go like that. This one can do the same. Just reached level 9, yay. And that one there, that one there. Put those over there. I'm just going to block these in if I can, if it'll let me. There we go, there we go. So that's nicely covered. Now we need to get these other thrusters in. So this one, I'm going to pop it in about here. Oh, don't, straight underneath. Okay. Do the same on the other side. Same spot. What's that? And we need to put our thruster. So normal thruster. Is I might just bring that out one more. Put the thruster there. There. And last but not least, we will just put the roundings on this side. That. Like that. Now I'm leaving these sides open like this, like a little tray top or something, because should it survive, which hopefully it will survive a little while, eventually I'll put a small constructor on there, and that's so that I can start smelting things. So that will do. That's our starter vessel. So I'll just empty those out of there. And what we need to do is we need to put some fuel in it. So I've got a few fuel packs here. I'll put 5 in this side and I'll stick 5 on the other side. Alright. We go all powered up. So what you do is to enter the vessel, you just walk up to it and look at the cockpit, press T, and here we are in our cockpit. To power it up, you press Y. Now we're powered up. It's always best to go into third person when you're in a vehicle. So you press V to do that. Hold down the Alt key and mouse wheel to scroll out, so you can see what you're doing. Controls, you can control with the mouse, left and right. If you press space, that'll raise the height. And then it's just the WASD keys to move about. W for forward, S for back, so on and so forth. And you can certainly steer using the mouse. So first thing we're going to do, and I'm glad I put these spotlights on. I'm going to head over this way. Good, silicon deposit. That's one we need. As I said, our main priority at the moment is promethium. It's good that we find these other ones. There we go, promethium deposit. That's what we need. So I'm going to head over there and grab a bit of promethium. Promethium's pretty good to see when you're under. Some of the ores can be a bit harder to see as opposed to the surrounding rock, but promethium is bright blue. So the first thing I always do when I'm about to get out is I just hold down the Alt key and I just have a look around to see what's around me. And I can see down on the shore down there is one of the plant monsters. So I'm going to have to deal with that because that's going to end up creeping up on me. Now the other thing is when I'm in the hover vehicle, you can see on the right hand side there, it tells me how much power I'm using at the moment, how many minutes left I've got of power. I've got 885 minutes of power, hovering at 2 meters. The other thing is you can shift. If you press shift and will hold shift down and press the space bar, it'll give you a boost, like a boost jump up, similar to like your jetpack, things like that. So yeah, now to lower, it's just C, so you just lower it down. At the moment there's nothing on this that I need to be running at the moment, so what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to power it down. At the moment, I'm kind of stuck on a rock there at the moment. We'll just bring it over. Don't want to roll it. If you do roll it, left shift can provide a emergency flip. So we'll just bring that down, turn it off and let it settle. There we go. And press T to exit. Press V to go back into your first person view. Now we've got a plant monster here. Let's him sorted out. Just loot him. As I said, I believe there's another one over here. I do not want these. Creeping up on me. They're just annoying. Didn't get any spoiled food with any of those, which is a bit disappointing. That's always useful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shotgun this thing. Just simply because I can do with some more meat. And I'm not going to be over here long enough to need to worry about the food spoiling. I'll be making it into salami before then. So there's a few of these around. I might just, it's good for XP. We get the alien parts as well. That'll do. Oh, maybe this one, because he's on the way back. There we go. Alright. So, Prometheum. It's just finding where it roughly is. It's about... about here. We'll do. Get the drill out. In we go. Shouldn't take too long, and we should start to see some Prometheum. And the good thing is that when you first start to find Prometheum, it doesn't take a huge amount to sort out your power needs initially. It's something you need to just keep in mind and keep on top of. Now you see the blue here? The blue is the Prometheum. I'm just going to dig this out a little bit just so it make sure I've got an exit. Because exactly that reason. As I said, these plant monsters can be a bloody nuisance. Right. Back to drilling. So this is the stuff we want. And what we're going to do is just mine a bit of this, take it back to the base, turn it into Prometheum pellets so we can start creating some more fuel cells. And basically that'll enable us to go out exploring the planet, not really have to worry too much about our power situation. We should have plenty, so, to start off with anyway. Remembering that this is only one of the deposits of Prometheum on this planet, and this is only one planet that's in the game, so... Pick up a few more. Alright, I'll do for now. So we've only got 41. What I'll do is off camera I'll come back and I'll grab some more. But the video's getting on a bit, so... Alright. So if we head back towards the silicon deposit, it's on the way home. We'll go straight back to the base, and I'll just show you with the Prometheum pellets. As I said, we only mined 41 Prometheum, but it only takes one Promethium ore to make Promethium pellets. So now the hover vessel sometimes isn't as useful on some planets. This planet it's really useful because of the water. But if you're on a planet where there's a lot of mountains and it's mountainous stuff that you're trying to traverse, can be a bit more difficult because it tends to just catch on things. It's also a matter of I'll just turn the power off there. It's also a matter of just after you've been going around a bit, you may take a bit of damage on the front here where you might catch on things, and it's just a matter of going with your repair tool and you right click to repair things. You just run it around. If it finds anything it needs repairing, it'll repair it. But everything looks good at the moment. So we'll head on in. And we'll put the Promethium over on there. I'll just quickly dump all that in there. Get that making some salami. Now, so we've got 41 Promethium ore. And you'll see here that basically one Promethium ore will give us 10 Promethium pellets. So basically that's going to give me like 410 pellets, and it takes 10 pellets for a fuel pack, so that's going to give me 41 fuel packs. Power consumption's not going too bad at the moment. Eventually what I will do here is these smaller fuel tanks, I think it's at level 10, we end up getting access to, yeah, level 10, the large fuel tank. I'll replace it with probably a couple of those, and I might even put an extra generator in. That just should provide us with extra stuff. Level 12 advanced constructor, we're gonna want one of those. I'll explain about that when we get there, but in order to do that we're going to need to make ourselves a small vessel, and that'll be one of our next projects. But before we do any of that, we need to get our resources back under control. So that means we need to get out there, we need to explore, find the resources, mine them. I'll do a lot of the mining off camera, so as not to bore everyone. And also we'll check out the points of interest and things like that, as that's where some of the main gameplay comes from in this survival game. So as you can see there, we've got that crafting. It's Promethium pellets are now coming up again, looking good. So, but as I said, this video is getting on a bit, so we might leave it there for now as we look down on our hover vessel. And I'll just, as I said about this window, you can't see in from this side, but when you're on this side, you can see out. So, thinking I might stick with those. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen in this video. If you have, please please click on like. If you don't like it, then dislikes right next door to it. And you know, if you have enjoyed it, please subscribe. This is Raid Zero, signing out.